Howdy folks, welcome back. It is a beautiful day here, and we're going to do a little dialogue today. Nothing crazy, but a friend of mine picked up this 1974 Honda CR250 Elsinore, and it's not a horrible looking bike. Apparently it was like in his neighbor's shed or something like that, but he goes, oh yeah, it doesn't have any spark. So brings it in, and I go to, do a little dialogue on it, and let me show you what I found. So I was like, well, I'll just kick it over a few times, see what she feels like. It is totally locked up. She is locked up big time. So I called him and I was like, hey dude, yeah, I went to do the dialogue on why it doesn't have any spark and the engine's locked up. And he goes, oh yeah, it was like that, and I was able to get it free like 6 months ago. Like, well, that's a little bit more than a no spark problem. So I am not able to get it free. I just tried and I don't want to break anything. So let's pull the head off of it and just see what is going on inside. Okie dokie, we got all the bolts out here, and they were not very tight, and the head's coming off super easy, which is kind of a weird sign. So let's check out what we're working with. I'm kind of wondering if he took this off already. Here we go. There's a good amount of gunk there. That's no good. There we go. Let's get that out of the way. So I want to clean this up. Let's see. Might have to try to pull the barrel off to get it apart. Might be able to get it free by just giving it some taps. She wasn't stuck too bad. But it's not looking too good either, though. I don't like this at all. All right, guys, so the piston goes down pretty easy, but you can see on the cylinder wall here, it's not looking great. It might clean up, I don't know. I'm gonna hit it with some cleaner and see what we can do. Well, after a few paper towels, she's back to free. I don't like the kickstand, or the Kickstarter spring obviously is broken, so that's a bummer. But the thing might run, I don't know. Another reason that I think somebody might have worked on this after I cleaned it up, see all these scratches? That's probably from somebody either sticking a screwdriver in here to get the head off, or trying to clean up the gasket maybe, but those scratches shouldn't really be there. All right, now that the engine's free, I was doing some tests, and basically we have no spark. So pulled off the points cover here, and the points right here, if you look in here, basically when I spin this, they are staying connected. They're not coming apart. So got an issue with the points. All right, these are always the hard shots to get, but hopefully you guys can see the points moving. So I adjusted them, and now they move. And let's see if I can get this. This is another hard shot here. Not sure how well that's going to show up on camera, but we now have spark. So I guess it's time to put the head on, do a compression check, and see if this old girl's going to run. I kind of have a confession to make. I've sort of been falling in love with this bike. I don't know why. It's just really enjoyable to work on. For being a 1974, it was either fully gone through or it's a low hour bike, because everything is like easy to work on. It's crazy. So I hope this dude wants to sell it, because I'd like to own this thing. So as bad as I want to fire this thing up, or try to fire it up now that I have it back together, I think I should pull the carburetor off and just kind of go through it a little bit, because that's a little rough. It's a little rough, so I was just thinking like maybe I give that a little vapor blast, or even maybe just a little clean. Just see what's going on to give ourselves the best chance of actually having this thing run. I'm also a little bit nervous just because the engine was locked up before. The cylinder is not perfect. It could definitely use a hone at minimum. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but the dude who owns this thing only wants to ride it one time. So I'd love to just like pull it apart and rebuild it, but we can't really do that. So I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, I can make it run good enough where he can ride it, and then hopefully I can buy it, and then maybe I'll tear it down and rebuild it. We'll see how good it runs, I guess. I don't know. Just thinking out loud here. Doing the night shift. So I got the carburetor apart. Nothing horrible, but also that's not very good looking. So just going to give it a bit of a cleaning because we're in here. I'm not going to go crazy and vapor blast the thing yet. That'll be something I do if I buy it, I guess. I think this will be good enough to make it work. All right, I got my little second shift helper over there. Hazel's helping me tonight. She's not too tired, so she's hanging out with Dad in the garage. And we got the tallest fuel line, longest setup going on here, all the way down to the carburetor. Gave it a good cleaning, and we're going to see if this whole girl's going to fire up. I think it might happen. All right, kind of tight quarters in here tonight because I didn't want to roll everything out. But let's see if this thing runs. I got fuel hooked up to it. It's not leaking. I got a rag just in case the kill switch fails. I can snuff it out if I need to. But I guess, you know, let's see if she pops first. All right, let's get to kicking. Well, after much kicking and talking with the owner of the bike, I didn't know, but the owner of the bike had replaced this, and it wasn't set right. So I set that right, got the spark working, but after cleaning the carburetor, I was like, let's pull the reeds out, and oh my goodness, wasted big time. So I have to clean that up. This bike, it's got such good potential. I wish I could just, you know, go crazy and restore the whole thing, because it would so be worth it to restore it. But I don't know. We'll see. If I can just get the thing running so the dude can ride it, maybe I can buy it. All right. Now we're talking. So she ran for a second, but I just pulled the plug and this thing is soaked. And it's a little rusty, which tells me I think there's water in the bottom end of this thing. All right, I gotta show you guys this. This is hilarious. So it's been raining and cold and stuff out, so I've been working with, like, you know, the garage door shut and it's kind of tight quarters. When I fired the CR up, you got to see what she did to my FXR. Like 1 in the morning, I'm getting ready to go in for the night. And I'm like, man, my bike looks awfully weird. What's going on? And there's a dent right here in the tank. I thought it was a weird shadow. Oh, no. Oh, no. That is water and gunk that blew out of the exhaust. All right, so this bike was definitely underwater at some point. We're gonna have to address that. Exhaust is coming off, and we'll try to dry her out, but she's gonna rip. She's gonna rip. Let's try to wipe this off without just scratching my dented 1987 FXR tank. This one's going on the lift real soon, boys. Real soon. Well, guys, I worked late into the night last night getting the CR going, and it will only run for a few seconds, and then the plug just gets soaked, which there's got to be water in the bottom end. The exhaust, I think, has got water in it too, because we have a nice puddle underneath it now. And basically, I got a hold of the owner of the bike and was like, hey, this is where we're at. I have a plan to, you know, get the water out and whatnot, but he wants to try and do that himself. And we'll see how that goes for him, because he also tried to do the points by himself, and he did that wrong. So it's one of those things where it's, you know, it's not my bike, so I just have to do whatever the owner wants to do, and that's what's going to happen. But he did tell me that he will give me first shot to buy it when he's done with it, and I would love to own this thing, because I would tear it down, rebuild the engine, and kind of do a restoration on it. It's a great restoration candidate. It's got good bones, as they say, but way she goes. I wish that I was doing more on this bike and I could do more video stuff and take a video of me riding it, but just know that I'll probably end up with this thing hopefully in like a month or so. I don't think he's going to want to do too much with it. But as always, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you real soon on the next one. I have a huge announcement coming up, so stay tuned.